Right, so I'm back, and this time I am predicting the Champions League group stage for the season. So because it's gonna happen really soon, I'm recording this on the Sunday before the Champions League starts, and it will be out on the Monday the Champions League starts. So hopefully we'll get some pretty good predictions. But anyways, let's just get straight into them, starting with Group A. Okay, so of course, Group A, there's Ajax, Napoli, Rangers, and Liverpool. It is a very interesting group. I personally think it is one of the best groups we have this season because I feel like it's really balanced. All four teams are absolutely amazing, and I feel like they can all pose a threat to, finishing in the top two. That being said, I have done a lot of research, a pretty decent amount of research, just looking at the transfers, looking at the teams, the injuries and stuff like that, the form that some teams are in. And yeah, so you know what, without further ado, let's just get straight into the group. The group finishes that I have, and in fourth I actually have Ajax. I have Ajax, a team that I actually love and I hold very close to my heart because it did foster, of course, many amazing talents like Frankie de Jong, and of course my favorite all-time player in Johan Cruyff. That being said, I do think they'll finish in fourth because they did lose out a lot of talent like Anthony, who left to Manchester United. Besides that, so many more like Lisandro Martinez as well. But anyways, I just feel like they've lost too many good players, and of course they lost their manager Erik ten Hag. Of course he's gone to Manchester United as well, but I just don't see them doing as well as before, and I feel like they'll crash out of all of Europe in this group stage. With that being said, in third I have Rangers. I have them finishing in third, dropping down into the Europa League. I was close to putting them in fourth, but also close to putting them in second, but I ultimately had them in third, finishing in the Europa League spot because I feel like they have such good European pedigree, but I didn't really see them do it much in the group stage. So I feel like they'll struggle there. I feel like in knockout stages where it's just 2 games, I think they'll be able to do well. So therefore, I think they'll do well in the Europa League, but not in the Champions League because they won't make it out of this group because I feel like the other 2 teams are just too strong for them. Speaking of the other 2 teams, I think in second place, it will be the Italian side, Napoli. While I love Napoli, I feel like they've lost too many crucial players, with the likes of Kalidou Koulibaly, of course, one of their strongest players, one of their best players, arguably their best defender in quite a few years, and he has just been absolutely crucial for them. And I know they brought in a youthful replacement in Kim, but I don't see him helping them out as much as Koulibaly would. And of course he's gone to Chelsea, that's another story. But anyways, I just see Napoli not as strong as they were before, so therefore I feel like they'll finish in second place, but still make it out of the group stage. They will make it tough for Liverpool, who of course finish in first place, but they will make it tough, and I feel like they'll finish in second place, only a few points behind Liverpool. In first place, I feel that Liverpool will actually make it out of the group, top of the group. They will struggle quite a few times, and I mean, their form isn't that great in the Premier League so far. I know they've got a few wins, but they have quite a few losses and quite a few draws that really shouldn't have happened, but it is what it is. Darwin Núñez hasn't gotten off to the best of starts for Liverpool just yet, and they do have quite a few injuries. But one crucial thing that I think is very important is the fact that they do still have Mo Salah. And one thing that I found really interesting is the fact that they brought in Arthur on loan. I absolutely love Arthur. I was sad to see him go to Juventus from Barcelona, of course, but I think he's actually going to be a pretty underrated signing for Liverpool. I think he's going to do absolutely amazing. I think he's going to score quite a few goals, get quite a few assists, and play a crucial role for this Liverpool side, especially in the Champions League and possibly in the Premier League as well. But also, just before I end off this Group A, I feel like the most interesting and the biggest upset in this group will be Rangers beating Liverpool at their home stadium. I feel like Rangers, with their fans at home, they'll be able to take on Liverpool and beat them. I think they'll win. I think it'll be a 3-2 victory for Rangers once they face them at home. Group B now, and I will have quite a few controversial picks here, but anyways, of course, this group comes out with Atletico Madrid, Club Brugge, Bayer Leverkusen, and FC Porto. Of course, all of them come from different regions. We have a German side, we have a Belgian side, we have a Portuguese side, and we have a Spanish side. From the bottom, this may come as a surprise, but I think Bayer Leverkusen will finish very bottom of the table, of the group, and it's it's mostly their form. Their form has really disappointed me in this season. I don't think they've gotten a solid win, or if they have, it's only been 1 or maybe 2 wins, but I think it's only been 1 win in the Bundesliga season, and I believe they got knocked out in the DFB Pokal by a pretty not so good side. I believe they're in the 3rd division, but anyways, that's besides the point. Their form just doesn't really inspire me to say that they'll finish higher. They did bring in Adam Klozek, which is a player that I really like, same with Callum Hudson-Odoi, but still I don't see them finishing anywhere else but 4th, because I feel like although Club Brugge did lose a few players, I feel like they'll still be a little bit better because they've had Champions League pedigree, while Bayer Leverkusen haven't really been in the Champions League in quite a few seasons. Speaking of Club Brugge, I have them finishing in the 3rd. I know they lost Charles de Catelaar. I can't remember how to pronounce it just yet, but I know they've lost quite a few good players, but I still feel like Club Brugge will actually have, the history to actually play pretty decently in the Champions League and cause an upset to push Bayer Leverkusen down into 4th and finish in 3rd themselves, so they can drop down into the Europa League and stay in Europe. So in 2nd place is of course contested between Atletico Madrid and FC Porto. I love both sides. Atletico Madrid is a Spanish side that I absolutely love. I know they caused quite a bit of trouble for Barcelona and Real Madrid, but still Atletico is a very lovable side. I don't know if they've brought like quite a few good players that I actually look up to. Anyways, in 2nd place I have FC Porto. FC Porto is an absolutely great squad, but they haven't gotten out to the strongest of campaigns. I believe they've already taken a loss to the hands of a pretty lesser side in the Portuguese league. Not only that, I just don't see Porto doing enough or having a strong enough side to beat Atletico Madrid. Of course, they can prove me wrong because Atletico didn't have the strongest of showings in the group stage at the beginning of last season, but they could definitely prove me wrong. Porto, that is, but I think Atletico Madrid will finish in 1st place while Porto finishes 2nd. Atletico Madrid just have so much talent, so much depth. They did reinforce a little bit of their midfield by bringing in Axel Witsel, although he has been playing a little bit deeper. I think he's been playing as a center back for the past few games, and they have lost to Villarreal already, and they haven't looked so strong, but I do think that they will still be able to do it in this kind of not so strong group, but still I think Atletico is the best team in here, and I think they'll be able to top the group. Just before I go on to Group C, I think the upset of this group will be Porto beating Atletico Madrid in the 1st match day, and I think the most interesting game will be between Bayer Leverkusen and Atletico. I think there'll be quite a few goals, and overall the play or the soccer on display will be really good. The football on display will be really good. Group C now, of course, it holds this team, FC Barcelona, FC Bayern München or Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, and unfortunately Victoria Pilsen. Of course, many people already know that Victoria Pilsen are one of the weakest sides, or are the weak side of this group, so of course I'm putting them 4th. I know their president and the owners of Victoria Pilsen were already feeling pretty down after realizing that they got into the group of death, but I mean, they'll be able to travel to wonderful places like Barcelona, Munich, and of course Milan. Of course, absolutely amazing for them. If they're able to grind out a result against any of those 3 teams, they will be celebrating like no other day. But anyways, Victoria Pilsen in 4th, unfortunately for them. But anyways, let's get on to the other 3 big teams. Now in 3rd, I do have Inter Milan finishing in 3rd. I feel like they're just not up to the same standard as they should be, and their manager doesn't really inspire much faith for me. They did lose to Milan, AC Milan that is, 3-2 I believe just a few days ago. And I know they're a big side, 3-2 is not that much of a deficit, but I just feel like Milan is a better side than Inter, and I just feel like Inter has shown that they have been able to struggle, and I feel like they will struggle in this group, especially up against Bayern Munich and FC Barcelona. Speaking of those 2 top clubs, of course they faced each other in the group stage last season, and of course Bayern Munich demolished Barcelona, of course my favorite team, and I know I'm super biased and I put them in 1st last season, and I absolutely just was proved utterly wrong. They demolished us 3-0 in both of the games of the group stage, and we were knocked into the Europa League, don't forget about that, but we have strengthened a lot. But anyways, in 2nd place, I have Bayern Munich, and I do see them advancing. I see Bayern Munich advancing, and I definitely do think that they will finish either in 1st or 2nd. There's no doubt about that. but I do see them in second because I just feel like Barcelona have strengthened way too much. Although Bayern Munich did lose out on Robert Lewandowski, they did bring in Sadio Mane, not as his direct replacement, but still as a top attacking player. He's a little bit younger than Robert Lewandowski, but still absolutely a fantastic player who will definitely push forward to get quite a few goals in this group stage and do well for them. Not only that, but they also brought in Mazraoui, Gravenberch, and so many other great players that will definitely bolster their squad, like Matthijs de Ligt. Absolutely great signing. But with that being said, I feel like Barcelona just had a bit of a better transfer window with bringing in Robert Lewandowski from Bayern Munich, Rafinha, renewing Ousmane Dembélé. They brought in Hector Bellerin, who I think will be another underrated signing. I know a lot of people are like, why Hector Bellerin? But I think he will actually be really good for Barcelona. He will most likely be the starting right back for this season, so it will be interesting to see how he does in this season, especially in this Champions League. But anyways, I think Barcelona will top the group. They've had a fantastic transfer window. They're looking strong. They beat Sevilla 3-0, while Bayern Munich have struggled up against Borussia Mönchengladbach and Union Berlin already by drawing up against them in the first 5 matches already. They started off really strong, but now they've teetered off a little bit. But you never know. Right now they're sitting in 3rd place in the Bundesliga. But that being said, I do think Barcelona will finish in first, and I feel like the biggest upset will be Inter drawing with Bayern Munich in their first match day at Inter Milan's home stadium, while the most interesting game of the group will be Barcelona versus Bayern Munich at the Spotify Camp Nou, where they'll draw out a 3-3 draw. Group E now. Sorry, not Group E, Group D. And I say Group E because it really reminds me of another type of group. But anyways, in this Champions League group, we have Tottenham Hotspurs, Sporting Lisbon, Frankfurt, and Marseille. I'm sorry, I know I've been bashing on this. I bashed on this group quite a few times already, but I just, honestly, many people already see it. They look at this group and they see a Europa League group. The strongest side there is Tottenham Hotspurs, and even there, you know, they've been in the Europa League quite a few times. Marseille aren't the strongest. They finished in 4th the first time they were, not the first time, but the time they were back in the Champions League since when. Frankfurt, of course, they won the Europa League, but they finished in 10th of the Bundesliga last season. And Sporting Lisbon, they're a great side, but never that strong in the Champions League. That being said, let's get on, because they are an actual Champions League side, and I do think that in 4th will be Sporting Lisbon. It was very close. I think it'll be by just a point they'll finish in 4th. I think they'll finish just 1 point behind the next place. They're a great side. They've recruited wonderfully, in my opinion. I mean, they brought in Francisco Trincao on loan. Hopefully he does well there. I'm definitely going to be tuning into their matches, especially in the Champions League. But anyways, I have them finishing in 4th. Just the weakest side, but not by much. I think all of these teams are quite close. It's going to be a really interesting group to look at after. So keep an eye on this team and this group. Finishing 1 point and 1 place ahead of Sporting Lisbon, I have Frankfurt. Originally, I had them finishing in 4th. I didn't think they would do much, but one really key thing that made me put them in 3rd was actually the fact that they actually did a pretty good job and won the Europa League last season, hence why they're actually in the Champions League. Plus, they just beat RB Leipzig 4-0 in the Bundesliga. So, congrats to them. But that's not why I'm going to put them any higher. I have them just finishing in 3rd, falling down into the Europa League, maybe pushing far into the Europa League again. But it's just, I don't see them beating out Marseille and Spurs and how they are at this moment. Frankfurt are a great side. I think they could definitely do it in Europe, but not in the Champions League. They can definitely do it in the Europa League, but not in the Champions League, at least not this season. In 2nd place, of course, advancing, I have either Marseille or Spurs in 2nd place, of course, but I have Olympique Marseille. There's only one real answer for this one. Marseille, they're a great side, absolutely fantastic, recruited well. They brought in Alexis Sanchez. Of course, he's aging a little bit, but I still think he's a fantastic player, and he could definitely benefit Marseille and do a pretty good job in this Champions League group. That being said, I do think they're just a few key players off to actually pushing for top in the group, and I know they finished in 4th a few seasons ago. I think they've definitely improved. They're definitely improving it in the French league. They're doing much better. I believe they're in 2nd right now, tied on the same points as PSG, or if not, just a few points behind. But anyways, I think they're going to do a great job finishing 2nd here, and I think Spurs will top the group. They're absolutely fantastic. Antonio Conte has them playing really well. They haven't lost a game in the Premier League yet. They are tied for 2nd place, just behind Manchester City, or on the same amount of points as Manchester City, and just behind Arsenal, I should say. And they're absolutely fantastic. They had a great transfer window. They brought in Ivan Perisic. They brought in Richarlison. One thing though is that Heung-min Son still hasn't gotten off the mark. I know he started off well with the first game, but then after that first game, he hasn't done really well, so I'm quite concerned for him, but I think he'll bounce back towards the middle of the season and in this group stage. I think they'll do well, and you know what? I think Heung-min Son could actually be the top goal scorer of this group. You never know. But anyway, I think the biggest upset in this group will be Sporting Lisbon beating Frankfurt in Sporting Lisbon's home in Portugal, of course. And I think the most interesting game will be between Spurs and Marseille in the very first round of matches. The actual Group E now, we have, of course, RB Salzburg, AC Milan, Chelsea, and Dinamo Zagreb. Now, in fourth, let's not do anything else. Let's just put in Dinamo Zagreb there. I'm sorry, they're a great side, but every year you're in the Champions League and you just always finish fourth. It's part of the culture for you. But you'll be able to face RB Salzburg and AC Milan and Chelsea. So congrats to you guys. Just like Victoria Pilsen, you get a moral victory by going to big stadiums. Good for you guys. But anyways, in third place, I do have RB Salzburg. I'm doing this a little bit faster because I'm realizing that I'm running out of time. But anyways, RB Salzburg, you're doing a great job. But you did lose Karim Adeyemi to Borussia Dortmund. I know that's a big loss for you guys. And Benjamin Sesko, I know he's doing a pretty good job, but I don't think he'll be able to carry this team to any higher than third in the Champions League group. So let's just get straight on to the big hitters. There's some real big hitters, of course. It's Chelsea versus AC Milan. Who will finish top of the group? I think it'll be just between 1 point. I think it'll be really, really close. But I think AC Milan will finish in second. I think they're doing absolutely fantastic. They just beat Inter 3-2, just like I said before. But Chelsea, they are struggling for form. They are struggling for wins. And they've lost it to pretty mediocre sides, honestly. They lost to Leeds 3-0 somehow. And you know what? Their strike force isn't that good. But they did just bring in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And as a Barcelona fan, I know just how good he is. So that's why I feel like Aubameyang could help this side push on forward, score a few more goals that they absolutely need, and be able to, strengthen their side and grind out some results. Although Eduard Mendy has not been up to the standard this season, but maybe Koulibaly and Thiago Silva will be able to help the defense, solidify itself in this group. But anyways, AC Milan, I think he'll do a great job. Rafael Leao will probably be the top goal scorer in this group. But anyways, I think they'll do a great job, and I think it'll be really tough. But yeah, Chelsea tops this group. Biggest upset of this group, I think Salzburg will beat Milan in this first game, and Chelsea versus Milan, or no, you know what? Chelsea versus Salzburg will be the most interesting game. Group F now, of course, we've talked about Barcelona, but now let's talk about Real Madrid, because they are in this group this time. Real Madrid are facing Shakhtar Donetsk, Celtic, and RB Leipzig. This is the third time in a row, I believe, that Real Madrid are facing Shakhtar Donetsk. Shakhtar have known to be able to beat Real Madrid, and Real Madrid have lost to smaller teams like Sheriff Tiraspol. I believe that's how you pronounce that. I'm not entirely sure. And I definitely do think they will struggle in this group. But I do, you know what, let's just get this off the bat. I do think they'll finish in first. Why not? I'm gonna say right now, Real Madrid will finish in first. But anyways, let's go back down to the table, to the group, and I think Shakhtar Donetsk will actually finish in fourth. They're just not strong enough. They'll maybe pull an upset here or there, but I just think they're not strong enough, and they'll finish in fourth. So the real big question is who will finish in second and who will finish in third. Of course, third is Europa League spot. Second will also advance in the to the knockout stages of the Champions League group alongside Real Madrid, because I've already determined that Real Madrid is just too strong. They have a fantastic side. I cannot ignore it. They brought in Tchouaméni, who I thought would struggle a little bit, but he has, just risen and absolutely dominated in that midfield for Real Madrid. So congrats to them, and congrats to Tchouaméni in becoming a fantastic player and replacing Casemiro like that. Anyways, let's get on to the other two teams, Celtic and RB Leipzig, who will actually be in that second place spot. My personal opinion may be a little controversial, but I think RB Leipzig will finish in third. I don't know why. I love RB Leipzig so much, and I don't know much about Celtic, but I do hear that Celtic have a fantastic fan base, and I would love to witness, the whole ambience and the environment that the fans bring at their home stadium. But I think that is really crucial for Celtic. I think their home stadium will actually be able to inspire them to a second place finish and progress into the knockout stage, and maybe they can finish in the quarterfinals. You know, they could be a real underdog in this Champions League group and in the Champions League overall. But anyways, RB Leipzig have had a horrendous run of form. I believe they've only won 1 game out of 5 matches. Absolutely astonishing. They are not doing well whatsoever. They just got pummeled by Frankfurt 4-0 somehow. I don't understand how is this possible for them. I love them, but they're just struggling for form, and that's why I'm putting them in 3rd place, while Celtic in 2nd, and I believe that they will actually beat Real Madrid in this first match because they are at home, and Real Madrid have struggled here or there, but I think they will struggle, and I think Celtic will actually beat them 4-3. Hear me out. That'll be the actual scoreline, 4-3 to Celtic up against Real Madrid. While the most interesting game will be this Celtic versus Real Madrid game. But also watch out for the other Celtic home games. They'll definitely be really interesting. Group G now, we have Manchester City, Copenhagen, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, Borussia Dortmund, and Sevilla. Now, I'm going to kick this off right away. Copenhagen, I'm sorry, but I'm putting you in 4th place. You're a great side, and honestly, I was this close to putting you in 3rd and putting the 3rd place team in 4th, but I couldn't put them. I couldn't be that bold because I don't know why, but you know what? Prove me wrong, finish in 3rd, put this team in 4th. They really deserve it. Not because I hate them, but it's just poor run of form. Anyways, this team that I'm talking about is, of course, in 3rd place. I put them in 3rd place because their run of form is absolutely atrocious, and I don't really see them doing much. They lost their 2 big defenders in Jules Koundé and Diego Carlos. By saying those names, you already know who I'm talking about. And of course, I'm talking about Sevilla. They just lost to Barcelona 3-0 at their home stadium. And by home stadium, I mean Sevilla's home stadium. They've lost out on way too many players. They did bring in Tanguy Nianzou from FC Bayern Munich. And of course, they did bring in Marçal from Galatasaray. He is a great player, but I don't think they're solid backups for Sevilla. And I think it'll take a bit of time for them to gel. Anyways, I think Sevilla, they're still a great side. They will definitely push a little bit further than you might expect and definitely fight for 2nd place, but ultimately finish in 3rd and go to the Europa League. They're probably preferred competition. You never know, but maybe Sevilla can win the whole Europa League competition, but definitely not the Champions League because I have them finishing in 3rd. Maybe Copenhagen could finish in 3rd over them, but you never know. In 2nd place, advancing to the knockout stage, I have Borussia Dortmund. There's no really question about it. Borussia Dortmund will see their former player, Erling Haaland, face them, and he will cause havoc. Wreak absolute havoc on his former team. He just will, because I feel like Erling Haaland will ultimately be the top goal scorer of the Champions League. No doubt about it. He will overtake Messi. He will overtake Benzema. He will overtake Lewandowski. And of course, he will overtake the top goal scorer at the moment, Cristiano Ronaldo. He'll definitely score. I think he'll score over 150, maybe over 200 goals in the Champions League by the end of his career, especially if he doesn't get injured for these crucial matches like in the group stage and the knockout stages, especially if he stays at Manchester City, because Man City definitely have a great chance of winning many Champions Leagues, especially this one this season. But they're a fantastic side, hence why I'm putting them first. They'll easily win all 6 matches. They're going to win. You know what? They're going to get all 18 points. It's just facts. But anyways, let's get back to Borussia Dortmund. I feel like they have had a fantastic transfer window, but it was unfortunate that Sebastian Haller, of course, was diagnosed with testicular cancer, so therefore he hasn't been able to play, but I think he will return soon and be able to play a few group matches. That being said, I think Karim Adeyemi will hopefully have to step up. Anyways, I think the addition of Nico Schlotterbeck and Nicolas Soule to their backline is an absolutely fantastic piece of business for Borussia Dortmund. But that being said, I still think they will struggle, especially in the defensive side. Although those 2 powerhouses at the back are absolutely fantastic. I love both of their signings, especially Nico Schlotterbeck. Seen him play, absolutely fantastic. But I still think they are lacking a little bit of strength in midfield. Dahoud is amazing, but they did lose Axel Witsel to Atletico Madrid, so it will be tough for them, and it will be tough for Borussia Dortmund overall. So I have them finishing in 2nd, nowhere near Manchester City. They're going to be levels ahead of this group. So yeah, easily top in the group, Manchester City, then Dortmund in 2nd, Sevilla in 3rd, and Copenhagen in 4th. Biggest upset, I think Copenhagen will actually beat Sevilla at Copenhagen's home stadium, while the most interesting game will be between Sevilla and Dortmund at Sevilla's home. Last group, Group H. Group H now, of course, we have PSG, Juventus, Benfica, and Maccabi Haifa. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But anyways, Haifa, I'm sorry. Good job on making it to the group stage of the Champions League, and good job in getting into this group. You will be able to face the likes of Messi, Neymar, Vlahovic, and many other great players like Mbappe, of course. I forgot to mention it. But anyways, you've had a great run, but your run ends here and you finish in 4th. Congrats to you guys. Absolutely fantastic. Anyways, honestly, in 3rd place, I'm going to get this out of the way. Also, Benfica. I'm putting Benfica in 3rd. They are a fantastic side, but they did lose out. They did lose Darwin Núñez, and that is a big loss for me. Although Darwin Núñez isn't doing so well for Liverpool, they don't really have anyone else to replace him, at least not to the same, strength or to the same quality that Darwin Núñez brought to this Benfica side. Although I think they will push a little further than everyone might expect. I think they'll be in 2nd place for a little bit, but then ultimately drop off into 3rd and drop into the Europa League. With that being said, of course, I have PSG or Juventus finishing in 1st or 2nd. In 2nd place, I do have Juve going through in 2nd place. I think Juve are a fantastic side. They have Dusan Vlahovic, Federico Chiesa will finally be back from his injury. They brought in Paul Pogba, but he is out injured. But hopefully he'll be back towards the middle of the group stage and be able to provide some much needed depth in midfield for them. And of course they did lose Arthur, but it's okay. And they did also lose Chiellini and Matthias de Ligt, but although de Ligt wasn't that good for them, at least not as good as he was at Ajax. But anyways, they did bring in Bremer from Torino, I believe, so it was a great signing for Juventus. But still, I don't see them strong enough to be able to take out this PSG side that it looks like an absolute Goliath this season. Talking about PSG, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, they're finally clicking together. They're finally playing so well, and I see Vitinha is a very welcome addition to this PSG side. Finally, a player that's actually able to thread the needle, be able to spread the passes to all 3 of the front side, and he's actually, just sewed in well to this PSG side. Plus, Christophe Galtier, their new manager, has done a fantastic job with PSG, and they're absolutely firing. They're definitely going to score a bunch of goals against Maccabi Haifa and against the rest of this group, and hence why I have them finishing in 1st. I think they will slip up at least once and drop a few points, but I think they'll finish this group with 16 points, no losses, 5 wins and 1 draw. But anyways, the most interesting game I feel like will be this game, PSG up against Juventus. I feel like PSG will score a lot of goals and it'll ultimately finish 5-3 to PSG. And I feel like the biggest upset will be a Maccabi Haifa and Benfica draw towards the end of the group stage. So yeah, I think PSG will top the group, and those are my, key matches to watch. So those were my Champions League predictions. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe. Of course, I am a prediction god, so I will get everything correct. Psycho really sucks, so I won't get that much. But anyways, we'll react to them later. I'll see you guys later. Lates.